Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the Crinacle X 7Hz Salnote Dioko. And these are my Honest Audiophile first impressions, attempt to put a filter change on it, and then more first impressions. At least that was the original plan of this video, but I'll explain that. Alright, so the Dioko, it arrived several weeks ago, and I was interested in hearing it, so I opened it up and started listening, and I was pleasantly surprised by the sonics, not so much by the size of it. And then I got an email a couple hours after I had listened to it, and Linsoul advised that there was an issue with some of the first editions that had been sent out, and that they were sent out with the wrong filter, and so as a precaution they were going to send out a replacement kit that had replacement filters and a tool, and it had a video on it that showed a very easy process to replace the filter on the Dioko. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I sent out a message on YouTube, and I've said it several times. I wasn't going to give sonic impressions about the Dioko until I got confirmation that the filters made a difference, or that I received the one that was proper already. And so I waited and I waited and I waited, and about 2 weeks went by, and I didn't get any notification of a shipment from Linsoul. And so I sent an email to them, and I asked Linsoul, I said, am I getting the replacement filters? I'm, curious because I haven't seen anything come through, and I need to be able to release my video about the Dioko. And they said, oh yeah, we'll send it to you. So they sent it, and here it is. And it came today, and I was going to do a video where I showed the install process of the filters. One thing about me that you probably have learned if you've watched any of my attempts at DIY work on the channel is I'm not very good at it, and I'm very open about that. I am terrible at DIY, and so I tried several attempts on camera. I could not do it, and there was no way you wanted to see that video. It was a struggle for sure, and it would have been a very lengthy video. So I went ahead off camera and installed the filters. I have verified the sound of them, but I want to show you here on camera that it has been used. So in the kit, you get 4 black little dots. You get some filters, and as you can see, there are 2 missing. So you see 2 little holes. There's one right here and one right here. So there's 8 total filters that are provided. And then you also get 8 of the little metal grates that go in the nozzle. And as you can see, there's 1 missing there and 1 missing there. And in fact, you might get more than 8. You might get 10. But anyways, there's 2 missing. Okay. So I have installed them, and so let's talk about the Dioko a little bit. Build-wise, massively huge, nice and cool looking, but totally different than the Timeless. I'm not exactly sure why they changed the shape, but it is what it is. I really have a tough time getting them to fit in my ears. They're insanely huge. They're massive. Got a decent angle. A little bit short of a stem. I think that if the stem had been a little bit longer, maybe that would help with fit. But it really is a tough fit. Then as you can see, this really nice cable, except for this super aggressive ear hooks. And so the problem is when you put it in your ear, because it's a little short fitting, shallow fitting, and large, that's not the shape of an ear. When it goes in your ear, they already are wobbling around, but then you get this cable that has this extremely aggressive ear hook, and it just yanks it out of your ear, at least for me. Now, if it fits your ears, cool, but for me, I've really struggled with it. Very cool to look at, though. I like the purple. Then you get this carrying case, which is massively huge. I really don't understand the thought process on providing this big, huge, massive case when all you get is your IEMs in here, a bag of tips, and then some paperwork. They could have saved themselves a lot if they had just gone with a smaller case. It's a nice case. I like it, but yeah, not so much. All right, you do get a spec sheet. It has a 14.6 millimeter planar driver, connects with 2 pins of 0.78 size, 0.2% THD, 5 hertz to 40 kilohertz of frequency, and it is 106 decibels sensitivity and 16 ohms. So, you know, it's a pretty typical planar specs. Overall, it's an all right build and design, cool looking, comfort not so great, fit not so great, a little limited on accessories. How's it sound? So when I first got them and I put them in my ears, I put it in, I was like, wow, these actually sound pretty good. They're a little bit warmer than the Timeless. They have a little bit more bass impact, a little bit more sub bass presence. And I like that. You know, it gives it a little bit more of a thump. And the mids are a little warmer. They have a little bit more body weight to it. And where the mids were peaked and the upper mids were a little more forward, around 6 to 8K, and then the treble was a little bit peaked, it was dipped and it was a little calmer, and it was not as aggressive at times. But it did lose energy, and it was like the laid back bored version of the original Timeless. And I was kind of surprised at that. It sounds good. It has the tone and the timbre and the detail retrieval and the resolution and the body weight and the warm, but it just kind of doesn't have enough sparkle and energy, and it just sounds a little bland. And so I put in the filters, and it sounds the same. Still sounds good, and it still has that, but I didn't really notice the difference. So I like it on first impression, but I just wish it had a little bit more sparkle and energy. We'll see what happens and when the full review comes out, but I wanted to reveal my thoughts about the Dioko going forward with the change in tips or filter, and to verify and confirm that yes, I did change the filter. So wish I could have shown it on camera, but trust me, you did not want to see that hour-long struggle of me trying to put it on. So anyways, full review coming of the Dioko at some point on the channel. Got to give them time to break in and for me to go through them and really dissect them. And we'll get back to you. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on screen, subscription links, notification bells if you haven't already checked those off. And then down below, there's gear rankings and tier lists and recommendations of music and all kinds of other links. So check out those links. And also there's ways that you can contact the channel, follow the channel, support the channel. All that kind of stuff is also down there. And then don't forget to enjoy the music and remember that honesty is the best policy.